Hey guys, Hybrid here, and today I'm doing my Green Lantern reboot story. So I hope you guys like this. I put a lot of effort into this because I love writing personally, and I'm a fan of the whole Green Lantern universe. So when you guys well received my other reboot video, I was like, yeah, why don't I do another one? So I planned for a trilogy, but I'm just uploading the first movie story because I want to get your guys' opinions on it. And if anyone like at Warner Brothers sees this and would like to, make it, I would gladly consult for it whatsoever, help flesh out the story more, etc. Because obviously I'm not writing a script because this I don't want to make a super long video, but I typed about 2 pages. I think it does a great balance of fan service and also originality to a degree, because if you actually look up some of the things that I say in this story, you'll be like, oh wow, he did that, or that's really cool, like the little things in there, kind of details and things I set up for in the future, if you can tell. So let's get started. So I titled it Green Lantern Emerald Knights, or Emerald Knight. I think I'll just go with Emerald Knight. The film starts off with the Guardians, and they're deactivating the last Manhunter androids they made, and because obviously they get all faulty, and they send them to the Antimatter universe, as they don't know of a way that they could be destroyed permanently at this time, because obviously if the Guardians shoot at them with their energy, they're just gonna get powered because they're powered by willpower at this moment. So then we jump forward in time to the formation of the Green Lantern Corps, and then after that, just kind of briefly on there, and we go even further to quote unquote present day, and there we're introduced to Abin Sur and Sinestro, who are currently fighting a bunch of aliens in search of a criminal throughout the galaxy named Atrocitus. And basically, what happened with Atrocitus is through a really odd murder, which is later on to be revealed due to the Manhunters. He basically is, just he's gone mad with rage, and he just kills everybody. But in the process, he's also stolen a lot of things to kill people with. So Abin Sur and Sinestro are tasked to find him and capture him and bring him obviously to trial. And in the process, they search the area, they find Atrocitus, they both together take him down, and Sinestro stays in order to look for more stolen tech that he might have taken that they need to obviously, get and bring back to their rightful owners, while Abin Sur takes Atrocitus to, prison for the time being until he can have a trial. So on the way to the prison, Atrocitus starts yelling about how the Manhunters have returned and is going to kill them all. But shocked by this, the topic of the Manhunters, because in the Green Lantern Corps, it's a very rare thing and kind of a sacred thing in a way, because obviously the Guardians don't want their big failure to be, plastered out there. So Abin Sur questions Atrocitus, like, what is he talking about? And during this, it's revealed that a strange being, who I'm not going to tell who it is, because if I make more of these, you'll find out who it is. But a strange being told Atrocitus about the Manhunters, and also information, more information that interests Abin Sur. So he calls Oa to report about this, and while Abin Sur is reporting this and is distracted, Atrocitus escapes his restraints and kills Abin Sur using a piece of Manhunter that he killed, because Atrocitus killed a Manhunter before, and using that he kills Abin Sur. So once Abin Sur dies, obviously the ring goes away and flies off into space, going into Space Sector 2814 in search of a new Green Lantern, and Atrocitus gets away. We don't know where he goes at this point. But we then cut to 4 months later, pilot Hal Jordan, because this isn't instantaneous at all. Because, obviously space very big. I'm trying to capture the fact that it is very big. And, we find Hal Jordan, he's currently flying a jet and experiencing some issues while in flight, which seemingly it looks like he might crash unless he could finally land it. But to do that, he really needs to concentrate. So he overcomes his fear of dying and obviously failing the exercise, because it's supposed to be an exercise with the jet that pilots usually do. And he actually lands the jet. He overcomes his fear, and sensing that, the ring comes to him, and it finds him and immediately takes him to Oa. So the jet landing is not really, it's not classy landing. It's a very rough landing, so it could be argued he might have died and when the ring does come, it's a big energy surge, so an explosion does occur to some degree. So for all intents and purposes, everybody thinks Hal Jordan is dead, because the rest of this movie takes place in space. I don't go back to Earth at this point. So the ring takes him to Oa, and once he reaches Oa, the Guardians explain the Green Lantern Corps to him, the ring, how it works, why it chose him, etc. And after this, he is placed under, mentorship of who is considered one of the greatest lanterns, Sinestro. So we get a training scene. I really would like to borrow off of the kind of training scene we saw in Batman Begins, where you get a concept that it wasn't very brief. Like, it is a brief training sequence to some degree. It's like a few minutes long, not too much, but at the same time, you could sense that this was like maybe months of training, years of training, etc. So this will be 2 years of training, and with the 2 years having gone by, he finally completes his training process, and then becomes like a full-fledged Green Lantern. Now, at this moment, he gets put on his first mission with Sinestro, which is regarding criminals and mysterious killings regarding them, because for some reason, a bunch of, galactic criminals are just being murdered, and they need to find out why. So they get sent to Space Sector 0666, and they get a priority report while there that a massacre is occurring throughout the sector. More specifically, it's centered at the planet Ryut, which happens to be the home of Atrocitus' species, which is very interesting. So once there, they witness the first documented proof of the Manhunter's existence, which ends with several lanterns dying, and all life on that planet, and a majority of life in that space sector ending. Now, it comes down to the conclusion that the Manhunters were looking for Atrocitus, and in the process, because he's obviously a wanted criminal throughout the galaxy, so they went to what to the Manhunters would be the most likely place, which is his home planet. He wasn't there, but they killed everybody else. So that's kind of the background there. But Sinestro and Hal, among the other Lanterns, return to Oa to question the Guardians about the Manhunters. So the Guardians then reveal the truth about the Manhunters, so we get more backstory about the Manhunters, and reveal that the only way to really defeat the Manhunters is to destroy their power source, or at least whatever they're using now, because it can't be the Owen Central battery, as there's no way they could have a connection to that from the Antimatter universe. Because as you can see, as long as the Central Power battery was active, the Manhunters would have power, which is why the Guardians sent them to the Antimatter universe, in my film at least. So after this revelation, Hal, Sinestro, Kilowog, Tomare, etc., basically a lot of the Lanterns travel to the Antimatter universe, and their task is to destroy whatever is their power source. Because without their power source, without power, they're just gonna die out pretty much, in whatever way androids would die out. So they'll lose power. But once there, they face many Manhunters, but it's really odd. The Manhunters don't attack them. They're kind of defensive. Once they attack the Manhunters or get too close, the Manhunters attack. And they see the giant power battery, which is seemingly converting what they think is antimatter energy into power for the Manhunters. I'm not going to say what it really is, because if you know about the Antimatter universe and how it connects to the Green Lantern comics, you'll really know what is probably powering the Manhunters. But once they approach the battery, and they think it's going to be really simple, they actually do destroy the battery. And when they're about to leave, though, an extremely powerful Manhunter, who is going to be the Alpha Manhunter, appears. And this Manhunter seemingly controls all the other ones, and on top of being really powerful himself, he commands the other Manhunters in the Antimatter universe to attack the Green Lanterns offensively instead of defensively. And at this time, Sinestro, who is considered the most powerful Green Lantern available, goes to the Alpha Manhunter to fight him directly. Now we get a cool fight scene, very creative. I really want to go for Sinestro using constructs that we wouldn't think of using, considering he's an alien. So, and also Sinestro's backstory in the comics is he's pretty much, his study on his planet was pretty much the equivalent to, I think, being a paleontologist. So maybe go into that with his constructs a little bit, just to give him more personality. But anyways, they're fighting, and the Alpha Manhunter reveals how many Lanterns have died so far, and how many will die via some mathematical equation in his programming, or its programming, which doesn't faze Sinestro until the Alpha Manhunter remarks that a Manhunter killed Abin Sur, Now, we know really Atrocitus just used part of a Manhunter to kill Abin Sur, but the part he used obviously makes it seem as if Abin Sur was killed by a Manhunter. So this kind of gets to Sinestro a little bit, because Sinestro feels personally, because of his history with Abin Sur, that Abin Sur was the better Lantern, and if Abin Sur fell to a Manhunter, then there's a high chance he himself will fall to a Manhunter, which it causes Sinestro to experience a little bit of fear during the fight, which oddly, out of the blue, weakens his constructs and makes the Alpha Manhunter able to defeat him. Seeing this, Hal Jordan saves Sinestro from the Alpha Manhunter, which commences what I would call an epic fight scene, where we can really see the creativity with Hal Jordan. Like, it's not like Cal Rayner creativity, because he's the artist, but we get, creativity and, really aerodynamic kind of constructs is what I'd go for Hal Jordan, considering he's a pilot, something that kind of relates to that in some way. And also, obviously, like human weaponry, things like that. But I really want to give the constructs personality due to, the Lantern's backgrounds. So, Hal Jordan fights the Alpha Manhunter, who tries messing with Hal's concentration and will, just like he did with Sinestro, by telling him the only reason he was chosen to be a member of the Green Lantern Corps was because the Guardians were embarrassed by Zod's invasion of Earth. Man of Steel reference there, because in my film it takes place in the same universe as Man of Steel. So, as we know, in Man of Steel, Zod invaded Earth, and the Guardians are embarrassed by that, because technically a Green Lantern should have intervened before anything could have happened to harm Earth at all. So, because of that, they selected a human Green Lantern. And even though this disheartens Hal Jordan a little bit, he remembers still why the Ring chose him, because he's able to get over great fear, and he has strong will. And realizes that the rings aren't really hurting the Alpha Manhunter alone, but maybe something that's really powerful, like the Central Power Battery, can. Because at this point, the Manhunters aren't powered by the Central Power Battery anymore. They're powered by this new Antimatter battery. So he figures the Central Power Battery has to have enough power to destroy the Alpha Manhunter. And since they already destroyed the Manhunter's power battery, the only Manhunter that could really, survive a journey out of the Antimatter universe to Oa would be the Alpha Manhunter, because all the other Manhunters aren't powerful enough, they'll run out of energy, etc. So, with this idea, he communicates to the other Lanterns to retreat back to Oa, and, basically just kind of trick the Alpha Manhunter to come into Oa so they could use the Central Power Battery. And when all the Green Lanterns get back to Oa, they prepare the Power Battery as per instructions from the Guardians, and just as planned, the Alpha Manhunter is the only Manhunter able to make the journey, and with the majority of the Green Lanterns on Oa, they restrain the android and fire the Central Power Battery at it, completely, seemingly destroying the Manhunter threat, at least for now. And the film ends with the Green Lanterns, charging their rings, they say their oath, etc. But when Sinestro charges his ring at the Central Power Battery, something odd happens with all the rings of the Green Lanterns, and then at the end, we see in the power battery a small yellow being. The end. So that's my, first movie for Green Lantern. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I set up for more movies, if you couldn't tell. At this point, I have a trilogy planned out, but obviously, knowing me, I can expand that easily to 6 films, no problemo. But just comment below, what would you like me to put in this movie? My pitch, at least, to the movie. Also, do you like it? Comment below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Check out my other videos, etc. Share this. Get as far as you can. Tell your friends, word of mouth, whatever. Show them this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Hybrid. Please subscribe, comment, and like, and I'll see you guys later.